Hey, how you guys doing, man? This is Joe D, and welcome to Share Beer, a Friday Share Beer show for July 7th, 2017. And welcome. This is kind of old school. Me and Mark here on the show, which is very old school.
Yeah.
We haven't done just me and Mark in got a long time, actually.
Since we are worldwide, it is kind of a rare occasion when it's just the two of us. I mean,
Now that it's now that we're actually international celebrities.
That's right. Yeah.
It's hard for our people to get together and schedule these sorts of things and get it all coordinated like that.
Yeah.
I'm actually almost certain it won't last very long.
Yeah.
Someone inevitably jumps in pretty quick. So, are you drinking anything, Mark?
I'm about ready to. I got myself a bomber of
torpedo. Okay.
$3.49 at the
$3.49, not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I figured that's a good one to have. Let's see if I can get some smoke. I doubt it.
Let's see.
I'm not good at that. Oh yeah, we go.
Yeah, you got some smoke. Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah. Not quite nearly, but
Yeah.
I aspire to be one.
Yeah. We all have dreams.
Gotta have goals in life.
Yeah, we have goals, and one of these days I'll crack mine open too. It's not the first time I've had it, so it's the Santan Brewing, which is local here. Santan, what are they? Tempe, Chandler. So they're in the Phoenix area, and Moon Juice Galactic IPA.
Okay.
I've had this on here before. It's out of this world IPA, crafted with tons of Galaxy and Nelson Sauvin hops.
Okay.
That transcends all earthly pleasures, emitting an aroma of peach, apricot, and tropical fruit. So seems like the just so many fruity, as in citrusy IPAs been coming out. This year is really big.
Yeah, that's a big one. That seems a couple years ago it was session IPAs, and now it's the juicy. Juicy IPAs.
It seems like we are. I don't know about over, because there is still a place for them, but it seems like for the most part we're kind of done for now with the big earthy, grassy, pucker your lips type of IPA. This one's 7.3, by the way. So it's.
Let's see if the cat likes.
Actually got some.
Look at that! Yeah, he did get some smoke.
Usually cans don't. They're kind of borderline. I'm using the barrel glass today. I figured out why not be different.
Yeah.
But it is a nice beer. Nice fluffy head. Just big grapefruit. I'm getting a little apricot, I guess, if it's in there. Yeah, just more pink grapefruit. Oh God, it's just a beautiful smell. You almost wish you could just put it in a Glade air freshener and just plug it in your wall. I mean, this is it smells to me that good.
Oh, come on, cat.
Alcohol is super well hidden in there. By the way, Mark's training some cats.
Yeah. You're gonna see a picture of AJ here with the torpedo, and you drinking your beer. But they both came up and sniffed the glass and crushed the Crusher licked the cap. AJ kind of sniffed it and walked away. But
we'll go to Untapped right now and. It's but this beer also is just wonderful, man. It really is. It's let me see, recent friend activity. Did you log it yet, or?
I'm doing it right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this one's nice and to me it's easy drinking for an IPA. It's supposed to be a little hoppy. Nothing too super crazy.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, there's Andrew, man. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, doing all right. Just getting done with lunch here, waiting for my car to get fixed. I got a flat tire. Just got it over at Tires Plus. I'm just
okay.
across the road.
Where you having lunch at? A brew pub or?
Yeah, it's actually called Tamarack Tap Room. Let me turn the camera phone
Oh,
around.
cool. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then right to my left here, they got a basically a chalk drawing on the board on how they make beer.
Oh, that's
Milling,
cool.
mashing, lautering, boiling, they added the hops, whirlpool where they put the yeast in, fermented.
Oh, wow, they got the whole thing, yeah.
Filtration and all the way down to packaging, and that's Summit Brewing's logo there at the bottom right.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. What'd you have?
I had their Godfather burger. Very, very delicious.
Oh, man. That sounds like, okay, let me guess what would it be on a Godfather. What would it be on a Godfather? Let me see. So you got half-pound patty, I would assume, because you're in a
Yep.
brew pub. They're always going to have half-pound. You probably had, let's see, what would be on a Godfather? It's probably, is it more Italian themed? So I would imagine more provolone, maybe.
Red sauce?
It had Thousand Island, I think, a slice mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
And then it had some bacon on it.
Ah, okay.
No
Mozzarella.
egg? Didn't have an egg on it? Nope.
They've actually got a big, what they call their big 24 here, and that's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a challenge last year that they did live on Facebook, where you come in for like the trials, and then if you pass muster at that, you get to come back about a month later for the finals.
Yeah, to do it again, huh? Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
And that's a 3-patty burger.
Well, yeah, forget about it. Yeah, forget about it. Yeah, they've got the Heart Attack Grill here in Phoenix. I've been there once. That was before I moved here, and yeah, those burgers are crazy big. I mean, that their philosophy, they call it the Heart Attack Grill because they use everything real. They use the real deal. They still use lard. I mean, they still, you know.
I think I saw that on Facebook here a couple of years ago, and they said that one of the original owners actually died from cholesterol.
Yeah, they don't mess around. Yeah, they have their like a French fry bar, so you just like eat as many French fries as you want. You know, they have an ambulance outside. It's all hospital themed, you know. All the waitresses they dress up like little nurses, you know, and it's a cool place. They serve real Coke there.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they serve real sugarcane Coke.
No high fructose corn syrup there.
Yeah, no, everything's the real deal, and you feel it too. You can feel your heart like, you know, when you're done in there. But yeah, I've been there once for nostalgic sort. It was a good burger. It's just, you know, I don't know if I'd eat it all the time, but yeah, they were on like what, Food Network or something. You know, they've been on that sort of show, no charge, a few times. But so you didn't have no beers, huh? You're
No, I got to work tonight.
Okay.
So I'm just getting my car done, heading back to the house and chilling out before I got to go to work.
Right on. So what's the weather like over there right now? Is it 80s, 90s?
Clear. It's clear outside, and it's about, according to the thermometer in my car, it was about 80 degrees.
Oh, okay.
So I gotta set the phone down here for a minute. Put my card back in my wallet. So you're looking at the ceiling for a minute.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got. I'm gonna share the screen here, and we'll show Mark's check-in, and yep, there's the picture of some dude with his nose stuck in a beer, and their torpedo.
I had a couple of my Alaska ales the other night. Those were good.
Oh yeah, Alaskan's pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. So the torpedo, for those that don't know, we'll cover it here. I don't know. My print's kind of small here, isn't it?
There you go.
7.2% ABV, 65 IBUs, and it's pretty much a big IPA as far as the boldness of the hop. I mean, it's a big traditional, grassy, very piney IPA. So
Probably the opposite of what you have there, huh, Joe?
you know what? It's yeah. It's still the same 7.2%. I'm kind of curious. Let me look mine up too. Moon Juice.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna look it up, and here we are. And that way we can compare kind of apples to apples. Yeah, 7.3%, 65 IBUs.
There you go.
It's I would call it, and that's the reason why I wanted to look it up, because I would say it's the same kind of big hoppiness, but since it's not like that piney kind of hop, that it's not as much of a bite. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah. Torpedo has that little bit of that resiny kind of piney resin at the back.
Right.
After you drink it.
Right.
I noticed that when I had both of my torpedoes.
Yeah. You get a little bit of citrus up front, but then at the back you get a little bit of pine and resin.
Right. Yeah. This one is really good. Like I say, you get that big pink grapefruit going. Let me check in here while we're I'll just do it right here. Yeah, go ahead and allow. Just confirm here. So there we go. Yeah, it's I feel like since it's more fruity, you're getting more citrus and more, like they say, an apricot. It's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? It's not as that 65 IBUs doesn't like punch you in the face. So I think it's a little more drinkable that way. And the alcohol is very well hidden in it. You know.
Here's what we got outside right now, guys.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, really nice day. Yeah, absolutely.
There's that fireball in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, looking pretty good. Yeah, absolutely.
Jeez.
Yeah, now I get to walk off my lunch.
There you go. Yeah.
I just got to walk back across the street now.
Right on.
So,
yeah, this Moon Juice is pretty good. My next one, I've got Duval. Oh, we've got Zach in the chat. He says, "Hey guys, had a Monteith's black beer early tonight, and a nice beer with coffee and notes of dark chocolate." So, I guess I can look that up and see what that's all about, because I don't think I've ever heard of that. That must be an Australian beer.
It's probably like $20 too.
Yeah, it's probably $250 million exactly. Oh, New Zealand. Okay. You know, now New Zealand, I can get some of, New Zealand type beers, but not a whole lot. But it seems like New Zealand is picking up as far as a selection of beer. So this is the one he had, the black beer. Yeah, no Neary today, man. What's up with that?
I don't know.
He probably had to work late, man. We got Agnes in there.
Yeah.
That's mom, right? That's mom.
You got Neary's mom in there.
Yeah, that's mom. So this is the one. Hi, mom, by the way. Hi.
Hi, mom.
But so the one that Zach had is a 5.2% ABV, and real brief description: a dark beer with biscuit, caramel, chocolate, and coffee flavors. Wow. So that's almost. I wonder how thin it is, though. You know what I'm saying? Because black, what they would call a black beer, tends to be thin. And it's always Oh, he said he paid $12 a 6-pack on sale.
Yeah. That's only $2 a beer. That's not too bad.
That's crazy. That's not too bad though for like you said. But he had to get that on sale. It was $12 a six on sale. So, but hey, not too bad though. It's rated 3.48. So I don't think that's too terribly bad for a black beer. You know what I'm saying? But so in any case. Yeah, not as thick as a stout, he said.
Yeah.
Even stouts, though, can run thin. So,
I think Guinness would be the like the godfather of being a thick beer. That beer could never get thin.
Yeah, Guinness. Well, I don't know. Guinness is pretty thin.
Yeah, it's like motor oil thick though, as far as you can't even see any light through the glass.
Yeah, it's
super dark.
Yeah, it's super dark, but the body of it is pretty thin. Oh, Neri's in the chat now.
Yeah. Well, Mom was asking about him. She said, hello, Neri, where are you?
Yeah, see there. Yeah, now they're reunited there. See, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, all is good.
We're bringing families together since 2017.
Yeah, we keep families together here. We reunite people.
I think you just got a show title.
Yeah, reunited. Right?
Bringing families together in 2017.
Yeah, bringing families together. Yeah, that's not a bad show title. Yeah, so yeah, Neri, as always, the link is at the top there if you want to jump in.
Chat.
At the very top of the chat, you can click away and jump in if you'd like. I do have a couple of articles. I guess we can cover one of them.
Yeah,
I thought it was kind of, interesting. Now, there's been a long history with the long shot American homebrew contest from Samuel Adams, and apparently they've made some changes. Sam Adams changes up long shot contest. Now, there's small changes but big changes at the same time. I'll try to get into it quickly here. So, after more than 2 decades, the Boston Beer Company is changing up its Samuel Adams Long Shot American Homebrew Contest, helping at least one winner to learn to open their own brewery. The winner of the homebrew contest will now get to spend 1 week at the Samuel Adams Boston Brewery, taking part in a brewership, quote unquote, working hand in hand with brewers in Samuel Adams' 10-barrel pilot brewery.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you win the contest. Oh man, these darn autoplay. So if apparently if you win the contest now, you're gonna get to spend a week they have this new pilot brewery is what it sounds like, and it's a 10-barrel facility. So you'll get to really get a good idea of what it's like to start your own 10-barrel brewery. And then it quotes, we updated our successful long shot contest to not only recognize top home brewing talent, but also to support the growth of the craft beer industry by providing nuts and bolts advice and hands-on experience to make their brewing dreams a reality.
No need to call me.
And that's a quote from Samuel Adams founder Jim Cook. He said that in a release. We know the next generation of great craft brewers is out there and just needs the extra support to go from home brewing system in a garage to a professional brew house.
Yep.
And then it says also, and I thought this was a really cool part, the winner, along with 2 runner-ups, will also be brought to the Great American Beer Festival in Colorado and will get a scholarship to take one online course from the, what is it, Siebel Institute
Yeah.
of Technology?
Yep. That's like the brewing industry tech school, basically, I think.
Which is cool. So that,
Yeah, they offer classes on brewing, brewmaster types, running breweries and all that stuff.
I just love this because it's an opportunity for you to, and I'll stop the screen share, but it's an opportunity for you to, not only if you win the contest, not only, have your beer made and distributed, but now they're really making that extra effort to send you to the brewery, learn how the whole process is done for a week, and then send you to GABF in Colorado and give you a scholarship so that you can take an online course and actually get that education that you need to get your business off the ground if that's your intent. So that's a hell of an opportunity.
Over for the day.
You're all done with that part, huh?
Yeah, they discovered all my little cables behind my desk and got tangled up in it and pulled off my music player. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
So back in the closet.
Yeah, back.
Oh, you got flea bags with legs, huh?
Mm-hmm. 2 of them.
My condolences.
So you know what? Let me show this one little part really quick too, because there might be someone watching this that is interested, and you have until July 25th. So the end of this month, those interested in participating in the 2018 Long Shot Contest are asked to create a 2-minute video and explain their passion for brewing and why they want to be a professional. Videos need to be uploaded to samueladams.com/longshot by July 25th.
Huh. Okay.
So if you are interested, that's how you enter, and that's the deadline. And I would imagine that's a pretty hard deadline. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool. I mean, now they're adding in. They always used to like brew your beer and send it out, but now they're getting a little bit more into the helping them actually be able to open up their own brewery, not just get their beer produced. Which
is amazing. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
They probably recognize. There might have been some other contest winners that started and it didn't really go well, and maybe Jim Cook just learned from his own experiences of like, hey, we need to offer a little more. We'll step it up a little bit more and give some education along with this thing. And hopefully people will have a better chance. So now that's a hell of a prize. That's a hell of a, you're helping people start their own business. You're not just helping them, you're not just giving them a cool thing like, here's your beer mass produced. It's, here's you want a chance to brew beer. You want a chance to actually own your own business. Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's the part for anybody that starts a business. I mean, whatever it is that you do, well, that. The challenging part is the business part.
Yeah.
Effectively, how to price, how to purchase, all the stuff that goes into the business. So that's the tough part, isn't it, Mark? I mean, we kind of know that Tell me about it.
Photography. The pricing. I find the pricing tough. Like when I was first charging people for my photography, it was tough to figure out, okay, what price point do I start at? Like where what am I worth? What's my time worth? And that's a tough part. You start somewhere and you see where it goes. Really is kind of how I did it. But
it's different for services. I think it's different. I mean, like products. I mean, what you have your certain costs that go into making the beer. So that each thing of beer costs me X. So then it's a matter of how do I cover my costs and make a profit. So how do I price it there? Services are like, okay, I do whatever I do great. Like you're a photographer, I'm a financial planner. It's like we can do that. Now the question is, what's our time worth? What's our expertise worth? And will people pay for that expertise at the level we think they should pay?
Right.
And then how do you adjust it? And that's the challenge. So
that is the challenge. Yeah, that's and that little bit that I have shot cars and I've already been asked to shoot cars professionally,
Mm-hmm.
and it's popping up again. Like, okay, what do I? That's what I was asking our friend about. Was like, what do I charge, man? I don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my thing. Do I? Do I? And you don't want to start too low because then you seem too cheap. And
Yeah.
So, but like you said, with the product, you at least have some sort of idea because beer's everywhere. So it's like,
Yeah. I mean, and you got to buy supplies to make the beer. I mean, so you got to buy the malt, you got to buy the hops, you got to pay the water bill and all that. So, I mean, all that goes in. And I think a lot of times people get caught up in it is they start selling all that stuff. They buy all the stuff at whatever it costs them to buy it. And then they make it, whatever it is, whether it's widgets or beer or whatever. And then they start selling it for less than it costs them to make it to try to get market share or to get people coming in. And then, then it's a tough thing. How do you,
Yeah, because it's much, much harder to raise a price than it is to lower one. Like you can always start high and go low. Like you can always let's say if you're, I don't know, you're well, hell, maybe you're making a citrusy galactic IPA, and you notice that the others in your market are maybe charging us $6 to $7 a pint. So you want to start at 8. You figure, well, I'll start at 8. And then you figure once you start getting the process rolling, hey, it's only costing me maybe $4 a pint to produce this. It's a lot easier to advertise, hey, special $1.50 off. You know what I'm saying? Than it is to, all of a sudden, oh crap, I really need to charge $1 more for this beer.
Yeah. And I think that's where most home brewers that have tried to go commercial, in other words, open up, like what Zach did. He was a home brewer and he opened up a brewery and did that. I think that's where most of them probably run into the most trouble or the most challenges is how do you make it and do it profitably so you can actually do what you love and make a living doing it, and be able to support people that are helping you make it, all that type of stuff. And that's a challenge. And that's the business side where somebody like Sam, like Sam Adams can definitely help. Here's the things you need to be aware of. Here's the, the red flags or the bumps in the road that you're going to experience when it comes to beer. And here's what you need to be aware of and, all that stuff. So,
and it sounds like, boy, that whole week you're going to spend there. It's probably 5 days, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just got to be invaluable.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, Zach's doing as good as he can right now. Doing very, very, very well. And I'm sure he had a lot of collaboration, what it sounds like, with other brewers. But can you imagine, before he even opened the door, if he'd have got a week with Cook over there at Boston Beer Company, for Christ's sake? I mean, I remember I had probably 2 hours with Scott Bourne, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours with Scott Bourne. On one of my trips to Bosque del Apache to shoot those birds. And it's been years later, almost 10 years later, probably 8 years later, somewhere in there, 8 years later, somewhere around there. And I still keep that information with me that he told me. I mean, that guy's a world-class excuse me, a world-class photographer, man.
Oh yeah.
And he was just like, pardon me, but I have to say something. And you know what I'm saying? I'm like, hell yeah, say whatever you want, man. I'm a sponge. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I mean, that was awesome. Yep. So it's that equivalent to me of.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. The little bit of time you spent with him, how much would it have taken you to come across? You might never have come across some of that stuff that he told you in that little bit of time.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, it's just, yeah. So you got to just never, you always have to be willing to learn from anybody that's offering anything. At least listen to it. And not that everything they say is applicable, but there's probably a chunk of it that you can take and use yourself. And you always got to be open to criticism and new ideas. Because if you're not, then you're not going to grow in whatever you do, whether it's photography, business, anything. Yep.
One of my favorite bird shots ever. I created standing next to him, man, and that's what was so cool. Of course, he had one of those big Sigma 800s. He had that new it was that real experimental $25,000 super zoom, but and he shot the shot. He finally shot the shot he's been trying to get for 25 years, and I happened to be standing next to him, and so I've got a similar shot. I mean, not even close to what he got, but a different perspective on the same shot he got, and I could put mine next to the one he did, and he's still selling it. It's a limited, really. It's so special to him that he only prints it in limited release and sells it to people on a very, very limited release. I heard him just talk about it in an interview a couple days ago in a podcast, and it's so cool that was the day that I got to spend a couple hours with Scott Bourne. It was just in his favorite place to shoot. It was just incredible, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It still stays with me. So I could imagine. See, Zach put it out there. Yeah, the 200 to 500. Yeah, the 2.8. It's that big green one. It's huge. It's massive.
Yeah, it's probably a $20,000 lens. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure at the time it was like 25 G's, and they lent it to him, and I remember we were kind of chatting a little bit, and then he had a pickup, and he was like, "Yeah, I gotta get my lens out of the back," and I'm like, "Oh, do you have that Sigma?" And he just kind of, "You like that?" Well,
He's like, yeah,
I got it. Yeah, I got it. And I was, you know what I'm saying? Looking at this thing, it's just, you're just like, oh my God, you're so cool.
And they gave it to him and said, here, use it, abuse it, do whatever you want with it, because when you get done with it, you're going to give us feedback, and we're going to say that you used our lens. I mean, that's the whole, he's like, okay, I'll.
Yeah. So, and those are the days when he was still shooting Canon. Now he's shooting Olympus, I think. He's totally mirrorless now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He went mirrorless a few years back.
Okay.
Yeah, he's complete mirrorless. I mean, I think it's Olympus. I'm pretty sure he's shooting Olympus.
Yeah, okay, so he's. Well, that would make sense, though. If he's using the big lenses like that, I mean, he gets the 2 times crop factor. Still plenty of megapixels. If you're doing a good shot and you got a fast enough lens, you're going to get plenty of detail and that 800 millimeter lens is now a 1600 millimeter lens.
So he's using their lenses too, so he's not having to use the big lenses anymore, the big heavy ones.
Yep. So which image is it? Is it the one of all the birds taken off with the sunrise or whatever?
Oh, of mine?
No, the one that you took next to him. I'm on his site now, just looking.
Oh, I think he calls it Birds and Fire or something, or Birds and Fire.
Yeah, I bet that's what this one is. It's the bird. He's got it, the Birds of the Bosque, and it looks like all these birds. You got the shadows of all the birds with the sunset or sunrise in the background over the water.
Go ahead and show it, Mark. I can't. I don't know.
I'm going to share the screen. Yeah, I think that's it. Is that it?
That's a similar one.
Okay.
No, it's actually, there's some fog. There was some fog that was happening.
Okay.
The birds literally look like they're on fire. Oh yeah, it looks more like that one on the bottom.
This one?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's it. Oh yeah. Wow. So you had the mist lifting off the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way the sunrise was coming up, so you're doing all this at sunrise, and so during the sunrises to me are special because you get all that extra stuff. You get the fog and all that, and that's what was happening. The fog, the mist was coming off of that water in the morning, and it's November, and the birds are taking off. So these are the birds that didn't take off in that initial flight, and so these birds are just taking off little by little since the sun is already rising. And then I just noticed that he was shooting pretty intensely. You know what I'm saying? I've got there's some distance between us. I mean, you know, a good 30 feet or so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, I'm giving him some room. You know, of course, he's a pro. He's doing his thing. He's a pro, and so I'm giving him room. But you know, I was also shooting, and I had a much shorter lens, so I've got a wider shot of that same deal. And it's still one of my favorite shots. I've got a print actually that I could show, but it's
that's cool.
It's kind of put up. But
yeah, I mean that's kind of the same thing as like this homebrew competition winner standing next to Sam Cooke or the brewmaster Sam Adams, learning tricks of the trade. You know, here's things to watch out for. Here's how you do things certain ways. And
maybe Jim has been working on a recipe and trying to get it this specific way, and you happen to be like right there when he did it, you know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh my God, I've created a similar, you know what I'm saying? Like I was there, you know what I'm saying? When this guy created this, you know, and his lifelong, you know, and that's kind of what happened that day. Now I don't know if Scott remembers me from Boo, you know but it was just so cool that, you know, someone that I look at as like a mentor, you know, even though it was kind of, you know, a small time, but it was, you know, it was still, that stayed with me. So I could imagine that, you know, if I was creating a brewery and had this chance to hang out at Samuel Adams, I mean, it would just
yeah, that's huge.
It would just be so incredible.
Yep.
So I'm going to move on. Now my next one is one that I've had on here as well. So I don't know. Do you have another one or?
No, I just poured the rest of this. This is a 24-ounce bottle.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This is going to do me till dinner time, I think.
Yeah. That's too.
I'm going to work a little bit this afternoon. So I'll be a little bit more creative, probably. I'll be a little more free flowing.
Yeah. You know, that's where 2 and 2 equals 5, and you know, like, you know, it's come on.
Maybe I'll do a little writing this afternoon.
Yeah. You're like, everything's just flowing together now. You know. Yeah. It'll be an early Friday.
Yeah.
Hey Joe, how you doing, man? Joe BZ, Joe Biz, maybe, or
okay.
Then he says, "How's it going, guys?" Yeah, it's going pretty good, man. It's going really well. So I've got. Let me finish this one. I'm just going to use the same glass. I've had this beer already. Now I've got a beer, and it's been sitting here this whole time we've been doing the show. So I'm hoping that I get nary smoke out of this.
Okay. Watch out, Neri.
We got the Duval. Yeah,
baby.
Baby.
Yep, triple hop.
Got the triple hop. So let's see what we get.
It's smoking over.
Yeah, baby.
You got competition, Neri.
Got competition, man. Look at that.
It's coming at you.
Sorry, Mom, but I'm challenging your boy. You heard it right here, Mom. He's getting challenged, man. He needs to step it up.
Yeah, step up the smoke.
Yeah, step up the smoke, man. I'm here to take the belt. So, as you can see, it's a pretty filtered beer. It's got some slight cloudiness to it. But a nice big fluffy big bubble type of head to it. It's
like really like a real fluffy, not like a nitro. It's got that real dense kind of big bubble, not dense, real light big bubble kind of.
Yeah, super real fluffy, super light. Yeah, it's more like a mousse. No, more like a mousse. Yeah, more like a meringue, huh? But it's very, very good. It is, and this one's more room temperature. This one's, you know, yeah, it's cold on the cheek, and which I kind of like. I like my beers, a little warmer. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to have them ice cold or anything. And I would think that most people would like this beer a little colder, but you're definitely getting all the flavor out of it. And for a what do they consider this is
you call it a Belgian strong ale or Belgian ale or something?
Yeah, Belgian golden ale is what they're what they're calling it. And you know what, man? It's just super smooth, man.
Yeah. What is it? Is that like 8%? If I remember, that's about 8%.
Let's see.
8%.
9.5.
And that was a 4. Did you get that in a 4-pack? Is that?
Yeah.
So okay.
Got that in a 4-pack. Yeah, let's cover that again here. Let me see.
Yeah. I might need to pick up some of that maybe tomorrow. We're going to be out running around. I think I'll stop by Total Wine and see what they have.
You know what? Of course, it took me a while to get to this one. And let's see, triple hop. It took me a while to get to this one, but I'm glad I bought it, man. I really am.
I had that about a year ago, or maybe it was like May of last year, and it was really good. And I think I need to revisit it.
I would definitely buy it again. How come I'm not able to find this beer? What's up? No charge. What the hell? You know what? Okay, beer history. I always have a hard time. Okay, here we go. All right. Yeah, because I knew I had it. So here we go. I'll share the screen now. I seem to, when I'm online here, I seem to have a little bit of a harder time finding the beers that I've had, my history, but yeah.
Triple hop Citra. Okay. They're using Citra.
Yeah. So you see my one check-in. That's 17,000 ratings on here. And a 3.74. I'm actually surprised it's not a little higher because this is really good.
What did you rate? Did you rate it a 4?
Let me see. What did I give it?
You gave it a 4. Yeah.
Give it a 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot to take a picture, and I can take a picture now.
Oh.
I can correct my bad. Yeah, let's get a picture. Where's my phone? Here it is. See, little elevator music while we do this. There we go. Picture taken. We're all square. So yeah, it's. Let me see here. Discovered Citra voted by our fans as the best hop variety for our special Duval triple hop. Citra enriches the already unique taste of Duval with fresh notes of grapefruit and tropical fruits.
Yep. No, that's a for a strong. I mean, that's a pretty high ABV beer, but it's very kind of crisp and refreshing still. I mean, if I remember it, it's one of those that can sneak up on you. I think if you're sitting out on the patio drinking that.
Yeah, because now this one, you've got the Duval. Okay, let me turn this light off. You've got the Duval in my. It's not doing any good. My screen's just as bright. And then you've got the Santan, right? Comparable beers because they're using comparable beers in the sense that they're both supposed to be citrusy, not necessarily the same hop, but they're both supposed to be citrusy. Different styles, but citrusy, right? And they're both supposed to be kind of big beers. One's 7.3 in the Santan. This one in the Duval is 9.5. Now the Duval says it's got grapefruit. I'm not getting as much grapefruit out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just from their description. Tropical fruit, sure, but not so much grapefruit. The Moon Juice, I would definitely say, I can say I tasted pink grapefruit out of that bad boy. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
I definitely got a little more of a sweet fruitiness out of it. This one here is just more of a nice dull citrus, if I can say that. You know, it's not as sweet. It's definitely sweet, but it's not. It's definitely fruity. It's definitely sweet. Just not. And it definitely don't have the hot bite that this one has. Now the Duval says it's 48 IBUs, so, and the other one was 65. So, and then with the hop variety that they used in the Moon Juice, you're gonna get a little bit of a little bit more of a big bite out of that one. Bum says any Lance the Lush sightings. No,
No,
no.
he might still be recovering.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that I think that one's gonna be a little bit, like I said before. Like
Yeah,
I don't think
he might not quite have a taste for beer for a few days.
Yeah, it's not just the beer. Like I don't know that he's gonna want to jump in on a show here. Real
Although
soon.
if he does, I won't give him too much grief.
No,
I mean,
absolutely not. Gonna have to give him some.
A little bit, just a little bit, but we're not.
Gotta give him some. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely not kicked out. Feel free to join whenever.
Oh,
you're gonna get a little bit of grief, but not too much.
Oh yeah.
We've all done it.
Oh yeah. You're gonna get something, please. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, you know what though? For the price though, getting back to the Duval, I would definitely buy it again. Definitely.
How much did you pay for the 4-pack?
I got it on special, and I think it was $12. 13.
That's pretty good.
I think 13.
Okay, that's not bad.
So that's what made me buy it. You know what I'm saying? I think they had it on special, so I think I got it for $13. So.
Yeah, that's a good price. I mean, that's a quality. That's a good beer. I mean, it's definitely would pay $3 or $4 a beer for that.
Yeah,
for that beer.
And keep in mind, people, if you're looking for it, this will be. These are small bottles. These are 330 milliliters, which is 11.2 ounces. So. They're definitely on the small side, so expect that. Just to let you know, they're a little bit shy of 12 ounces. So that way there's no shock. But what's cool though is the Belgians make these nice thick bottles, man. They're always it almost feels like you could accidentally drop one and be okay.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good beer. I know I've had it, and I was just looking at my Untapped, and it doesn't look like I've logged it in now. I've logged in.
I know Google. You had it. I know. I could swear I've seen you.
That's one of the many beers that I've had that I've never logged in Untapped. I might be I won't be as many as Ruben. He's like almost 2,200 beers.
No, Ruben's crazy. Ruben's crazy.
No stop. But I might be like I probably have another 50 to 100 beers that I haven't logged on Untapped.
Oh yeah, well both of us. I mean, there was quite a while when I didn't log anything on Untapped. I mean,
I went for a couple of years where I didn't log anything. Well, a lot of time when I was doing the videos, when I was actually before Google cut me off and deleted everything. Yeah, most of those videos, most of the beers I had there, I didn't log in Untapped. So there's probably a couple hundred right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, easy. It's
oh well. I just have to revisit them.
So let's go over this list that I have.
Yeah.
And then we'll go over this, and then we'll close out the show. So I love lists. Those who've been watching the show for quite a while know that I love lists. I love the top 10 this, the top 5 this. I love that type of stuff. So this is the top 10 beers chosen by a beer enthusiast. Top 10 beers chosen by beer enthusiasts across the USA. Okay. So let me see. For 15 years, whatever that magazine is, the official magazine of American Homebrewers Association, has asked the group's tens of thousands of members to cast votes for the best beers in the country. The idea is that readers of that magazine, I don't know what the name is, as homebrewers have more refined palates and can suss out the winners. So these are the top 10, it seems like, according to the readers of that particular magazine. So here we go. Number 10, Ballast Point Brewing. What is that? Sculpin?
Yep.
IPA. Out of San Diego, California. The Sculpin is an IPA for people who think they don't like IPAs. I have not had that one yet. I see it all the time, and I have not had it.
Yeah, it's a fairly expensive. It's like $13 or $14 a 6-pack, so it's on the higher end. But I think I've had it on draft, but I haven't bought a 6-pack of it yet.
Now, it says the award-winning brew is a bright and not overly stringent beer. It doesn't have as much of a puckering quality. And you know what? And I think, you know what? On a side note there, with the big hit in some of these kind of, and not all of them are really classified as ciders, but with the big hit of ciders exploding, I know in some of our beer cases over here, man, and at least in the grocery stores, which is what I think a large percent of, if your grocery store sells regular beer, boy, that scared the hell out of me. If your grocery store sells regular beer, a large percent of the beer case now is these ciders, because people like fruity stuff. They like sweet. Your casual drinker like sweet, and that's what I think is maybe, now that I'm thinking about it more, Mark, is the reason for a lot of brewers going to a Citra hop and all sort of, to try to
fruity,
being more fruit into it. So it uses getting back to this ballast point, its use of hops creates hints of apricot, peach, mango, no charge, lemon, but it still packs a bit of a sting at 7% ABV.
Yeah, I mean, so that's like right in the wheelhouse for what an IPA, 6 to 7%.
Right.
But their emphasis is more on the fruity, not the piney flavor.
I'm gonna have to pick that up. I keep seeing it and I just haven't bought it yet. I love that glass though. The photography's great.
Oh, that's a great glass, yeah.
Now apparently there's a tie for 8th. You've got Sierra Nevada Brewing Celebration, which I won't even go into. We've all had Celebration, I think, and if you haven't, pick it up this season.
Yep, need to get it.
It'll be coming out shortly, I would imagine. That's kind of a late. That's more of a Christmas beer. It'll come out late fall.
Yeah, you'll probably see that.
November?
Maybe. Well, it'll probably come out before Halloween. I mean, the way things are going. It'll probably come out the day after Labor Day. But wait until at least Halloween to have it.
Yeah. In any case, if you see Celebration from Sierra Nevada, buy it. You're not going to be disappointed. It's definitely an IPA. It's a big IPA, and it's definitely traditional. Tons of pine. But it's good. It's good. And just
Yep.
You guys know I have a little bit of a love affair with Deschutes, okay? And you know that Deschutes used to send me beer, full disclosure. But I mean, all the reviews I did, I was being completely honest, guys. And I think the more people that get a hold of Deschutes are realizing that, you know what, Joe D wasn't lying, man. I mean, these beers are great, and this is one of their really, really, really good beers. This fresh squeezed is the truth, man. I mean, it is so good. I'll go into this one a little bit. This mouth-watering IPA, a lot of people don't get Deschutes, so I'll go into this one. This mouth-watering IPA gets its juicy flavor, and that's well described. God, this beer is so good. From a heavy helping of Citra and Mosaic hops. So if those are your favorite hops, man, I'm telling you, this beer is so good. Touches of grapefruit, orange, tangerine, lemon, and lime settle into both the nose and the palate, making it a beer worth drinking for breakfast.
Yeah, so who needs orange juice when you can get a fresh squeezed IPA?
I mean, it's
fresh squeezed orange juice or fresh squeezed beer. I mean,
it's got everything in there. Look at it. It's got grapefruit. Boom. That's morning. Orange. That's morning. That's or tangerine. That's morning. Lemon. Boom. Lime. Boom. That's breakfast in a bottle.
That's right, man.
Come on. It's all
have that with your eggs and bacon and be good.
It's organic. What do you want? You know? Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you. And the malt backbone of that beer is just oh my God, that beer is so
good. I had that last year. Yeah. Well, 2 years ago, definitely, when I was
you went there, right?
Portland.
Yeah, you went to Oregon.
I went to the Shoots brew pub in Portland, and I had like 3 of those. So good.
I'm telling you, man. I'm not kidding you guys. If you're watching this, put this on your list, man. The Shoots fresh squeeze IPA. You will not be disappointed. This is more of a sessionable IPA. And
Yeah.
what you're going to love about it is that the same things they're talking about. The Citra and Mosaic hop are just wonderful together, but they do it really well in this beer. It's really balanced, and what they're not talking about in this brief description is the body. That malt body. You see that color in that? That's some of that is from that malt. Oh my God, it's such a perfect beer.
Yeah, it's very good beer.
The Alchemist, which is one I haven't had, the Heady Topper, I still have not had this. I hear a lot about it though.
Yeah, well, you see where it says people wait in line hours ahead. That's why I'll never get it.
Yeah. I have never had
somebody up in the Northeast is kind enough to send it. Maybe Tom. Tom, yeah. I think he was saying he's going to make a trip up there. So maybe Tom can Tom, if you're watching, feel free to send Joe D and myself a Heady Topper.
Yeah,
I've heard it's really good beer.
And maybe our friend Jeff from Vermont. Is he in Vermont?
No, he's in New Hampshire. Yeah,
New Hampshire.
Oh yeah, maybe. He might. He's probably only like a short 2-hour drive. He should just go over there and get it.
Yeah, I mean, why not, man? You know, hey, what's up? So, yeah, I've never had. I've heard a lot about it. It's one of those beers I've never had.
It's like a cult beer.
Really, and then here's another one. The KBS. It's in a tie with Heady Hopper for 6th on this list. So great beers here so far. That's another reason why I like this list. And KBS, I don't know. Do you really need to go into this one? This one's an oatmeal coffee stout, and it's 11.8%. So it's an ass kicker by Founders Brewing Company out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. So
I've still got one bottle of that, I think from 2009. I might have to crack that one baby open here. It's still sitting down in my basement.
Such a good beer. I mean, and so is this next one. The Bell's Hop Slam is number 5 on this list. Comstock. Boy, you have a few of those hop slams and then try to say Comstock correctly, and you will make a pun there. The Hop Slam Ale combines so many types of hops that it has its own hopping schedule. 6 hop varieties were hand selected from Pacific Northwest for their aromatic qualities, from pungent grapefruit to florals. This is just a really good beer. If you're able to get Bell's in your area, Hop Slam is a staple, I would imagine. I think Hop Slam is
it's a seasonal beer. I think it comes out in spring, and it goes really fast. I mean, I know stuff shows up. We get, the beer stores down here get a few cases, and I mean, it goes within a day. I mean, it's
now number 4 on the list is Three Floyds Brewing Zombie Dust. And they're out of Munster. This is another one that I've heard about, have not had the pleasure of having. I don't hear too much about Indiana brewing. You know what I'm saying? As far as Indiana beers, don't hear a lot about it. I'm sure there's got to be a big scene, because Zombie Dust I've heard a lot about. Have you had it, Mark, or no?
No, I've never had it, and we're going to be driving up to Chicago to visit some friends, and I think we might need to make a stop at Munster, Indiana. I think it can work. Yeah, I mean, it's not that far from. Oh yeah, there we go.
There you go, right there. Boom.
It's near Hammond, so it's it's like 75 miles, 80 miles south of Chicago. So yeah, I think we're stopping at Munster for lunch.
Especially if you're driving. I mean, that's not a hard choice, Yeah.
Well, I'll drive up to there. We'll eat lunch. I'll have a few beers, and Pam will drive the rest of the way, and we'll be good.
Perfect. Yeah. He got his own DD, so it's perfect. I'll go into this description really quick since it's really brief. A brew that's fit for the living and the undead. Who don't love that? Zombie Dust is a medium-bodied pale ale that gushes with hops. Touches of grapefruit and citrus, plus a smooth mouthfeel, make it a fresh and inviting brew. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot about it. It's one of those beers I just never have had. Number 3 on the list, Founders Brewing Breakfast Stout.
Made with French babies.
This one is made
Fresh
with real babies. So
this on a label. Fresh babies.
It's on the label. So if you don't, as a matter of fact, the label has been an issue over the years of controversy. So it is at its current label because of past controversy. So, but they do use fresh babies in this. So if you're a vegan, you might not want to have breakfast stout. They used to say that in the label, right? Like made with fresh babies or something. The breakfast stout is a wake up call you don't want to miss. A enormous, right? Enormous blend of flaked oats, bitter and imported chocolates, and coffee. This imperial stout offers a fresh pot of coffee nose and a creamy, luscious taste. So if you have not had it, that's exactly what it's going to look like when you get it. And the description that they gave is exactly what you're going to taste. So somehow they got chocolates and coffee and fresh pot of coffee nose and a creamy, luscious taste out of babies.
Who knew?
Who knew? Right? Who knew you could get all that? But they did. Number 2 is Russian River Brewing Company, Pliny the Elder.
Yep.
I've not had. Have I had that? I don't know if I've had.
I've had one, and it was very good, but that was a long time ago.
Let me see. They're out of Santa Rosa, California. After 8 consecutive years atop of their magazine's ranking of the best beers in America, Pliny the Elder has fallen to number 2. It remains one of most sought after brews with beer enthusiasts and even Googlers lining up outside the Santa Rosa Brewery before opening most weekends. So they're talking like almost every weekend there's a line for Pliny the Elder.
Yeah, waiting to get the latest batch.
I would imagine that's only in the north, only in Northern Cal, because I mean I see Pliny the Elder. I don't see anybody lining up for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess you get it super. You get it fresh, super fresh.
Yeah,
that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The double IPA is super dry and hoppy, making for a bitter and fragrant experience that's worth the hassle. A lot of IPAs on the list. Now, you can tell this is more of an enthusiast list because there's a lot of IPAs on here.
Yeah. Yep.
Very IPA heaven. Now, number 1, Bell's Two-Hearted Ale. Another one out of Michigan. Michigan representing really well.
Yeah, I got 2 beers out of 10 from one brewery. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's damn good. They've got to be really happy with this list. The new King of Beer is an IPA that, unlike its sibling Hop Slam Ale, uses 100% Centennial hops picked from the Pacific Northwest. The balance is key here. The hops aroma bursts with grapefruit, pineapple, pine, and a hint of spice, but a rich caramel malt backbone tames the bitterness. A crisp finish leaves you craving for another sip. With a more modest 7% alcohol, you make it 2 pints. You better make it 2 pints. So I've not had Two-Hearted, I have to admit.
I have. It's been a few years. It's another one of those when we get it down here, when it's super fresh, when it first comes in, it's gone within a day or 2.
Oh.
And but I've had it. The one I did have, the bottle was a few months old and it was still really good. So
yeah, man, it was such an excellent list. I loved that list. More of an enthusiast list, which is a treat because you know, you got beers that we can all pretty much agree on. I mean, even though I haven't had what turns out to be quite a few of the beers, or at least a few of the beers I haven't had, I've heard of them and know that they are well spoken of. You know, so it's not like I haven't heard of them at least, and they do have a reputation. So, the one that's on the list that I have not had is that Ballast Point Brewing, that Sculpin.
Yep.
And I will correct that situation.
yeah. You should be. I see that, you know, a lot of the Ballast Point stuff in my beer store quite a bit. So you should be able to. As a Total Wine should have Sculpin.
Oh, my local grocery store has it. I just haven't bought it. I see it all the time. It's just that I haven't bought it.
It's a little on the pricey end here. I mean, but it's a good beer. So
yeah, it's. I think they sell it in bombers here.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So I might be able to get a bomber of that.
Bomber for like $10 or something, probably 10 or 12 bucks.
You know what? The Ballast Point bombers aren't bad. Ballast Point bombers are typically $7, $8.
Wow. Okay.
So,
anything under 10 for a bomber, I'm pretty good on. You know, if it's a decent beer, if it's under $10 for a bomber.
Oh, Neri says he's having an IPA tasting event within 30 minutes.
Ooh.
Hey.
Well, how come we weren't invited?
I'm saying, you know, Mom,
Yeah, come
Mom, I'm complaining about Neri. He didn't invite me. I want to go. I want to go, Mom. He didn't invite me. I want to go.
An IPA tasting event. So I want to know what IPAs you're gonna have for tasting. And is it gonna be pizza? I want a pizza because that pizza he had. Mom, is Mom making the pizza?
Yeah, is Mom making the pizza? Yeah, I want to know if we're having tuna pizza again.
Yeah, does tuna pizza go with? I've never had tuna on a pizza.
Dude, I'm saying, right? Like, since he said that, I have not forgotten that. I'm like, dude, tuna on a pizza for real. Like, who in the hell's ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Except for in Holland, where they have, like, you know, tuna for breakfast, for Christ's sake.
Yeah,
you know?
They probably make tuna smoothies for breakfast. Tuna smoothies.
Oh, did you now? That what's her name in Google Plus? She's pretty popular in the beer scene too. Anyway, her name's not relevant right now, but she made a posting and that I saw before the show. They're having pizza flavored ice cream. I don't know who was putting it out. I didn't get a chance to go into
pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, pizza flavored. Yeah, Crazy Dutch. He says pizza flavored ice cream. Would you order it? Would you buy that?
Oh yeah, I would.
Well, you gotta buy it. Right?
I'd buy it over tuna flavored ice cream any day.
I have to admit, yeah. Tuna flavored ice cream would just be like,
yeah, pizza flavored. I do pizza flavored ice cream.
Now, what would they go like pineapple ham pizza? I mean, what kind of pizza are they doing? That's kind of key, isn't it? What flavored pizza would you think
would be? Like the standard pizza is like pepperoni and cheese. I mean, you know, it's either cheese or pepperoni and cheese. So
now
I could see pepperoni and cheese pizza ice cream.
Now,
emphasis on cheese more than a pepperoni, but
now, see, this is the thing. I'm thinking, okay, if you do pizza in an ice cream, you've got to pair the sauce.
Yeah.
So how do you pair tomato and ice cream? So I'm thinking you're going to go white pizza. I'm thinking you're going to go something white, so it's more of a like
olive oil and garlic and basil.
Do garlic. You can do garlic basil. I would imagine that. You know what I'm saying? So you could do like a. I don't know. I don't know. I'm like,
I want some pizza ice cream.
Yeah.
I want an ice cream maker. If I had an ice cream maker, I'd do it. I'd call Domino's. I'd call Domino's and I'd order a pizza and I'd have it delivered. And I'd take the pizza and I'd just take the toppings, tear it up, put it in the ice cream maker, add some cream and sugar, and be good. See what happens.
you know, the thing of it is, you know, I think a lot of us nowadays have those KitchenAid mixers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have the ice cream attachment. And I've looked at that thing, and I'm like, okay, should I do it? You know what I'm saying? You think about it, you're like, should I do it? And then I could just make my own tuna ice cream. Now, the thing of it is you can't just use any old tuna. You would have to call Neri up and have them send some like Dutch tuna to you, right?
Yeah. Pizza tuna. There's probably a special tuna that goes good with pizza. I mean, I don't think you'd want is the tuna on a tuna pizza chicken of the sea? I don't think so.
Now, have you heard about
probably some high quality?
Dude, I've gotten into tuna before. I don't know. Don't ask too many questions. You do not want to know why. I'm just saying I've gotten into the. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. I'm telling you.
Tuna. So did you get into the whole thing between like sushi grade and regular?
It was a whole thing on the different grades of canned tuna. For a little while, I thought I wanted to try canning some salmon, and a friend of mine was going on one of those big fishing trips to Alaska, and he was good. And so that kind of got me thinking, you know, would I want to, you know, can or jar, you know, jar for a little while. I thought I was going to get into jarring, and so I looked into different things. What could I, you know, can? You know, I know they call it canning, but it's jarring, really. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And tuna was one of them. So I got all into this stupid tuna kick for a minute, and wasn't going to do any of it, really. You know what I'm saying? But I just got all into it. You know, every YouTube video I watched for 2 weeks, you know how that is. It's a 2-week thing. You know, you get into something, oh, man, I'm into it. Yeah, I'm into it, man. You know, and you're like into your first week of your little thing there, right? And then by the end of the second week, you're like, yeah, I'm so over it.
The first week, you're an expert. Second week, you're like, okay, let's go. On to the next one.
Right? Yeah, that's how that YouTube thing works, man. You become an expert because an expert is I've watched 20 videos on it. And hello, yeah, you don't know this? Yeah, you get into the head waving and everything. You're like, oh, you don't know that? Hello? Yeah, you didn't know that tuna from such and such is And then someone asks you like a year later, and you're like, how the hell am I supposed to know? I don't know. I mean,
like, oh, you watched the video? But that was a year ago.
That was a year ago.
You got other stuff going on.
I mean, I'm so past
I'm into cast iron and salt blocks now, baby.
I'm into salt tiles. Are you kidding me? What? Have you not seen salt tiles? Yeah. I'm all about it. I did cook on my salt tile. Did I tell you that?
No. What did you cook and how did it turn out?
I cooked some beef steaks.
Ooh, okay.
And I cooked some pork steaks. Because I've always loved pork steaks. I've always loved them. One reason is they used to be cheap. Now, hello. Yeah. They're not so cheap anymore, or not as cheap as they used to be. They're still cheaper than beef, but didn't turn out as good. You know, the problem with, and I knew this going in, but the problem with the salt tile and having a glass top electric stove, the two don't mix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's other little things you're going to have to buy to get that to work. So I was trying this oven method. Okay, this is my thing. I thought that it really works best on gas. If you have gas, you're there. You're golden.
Which I do. All right, I might be buying a salt tile here right after the show.
Yeah, something gas would work. Like, so if you have a gas stove, you're golden. If you have a gas grill, golden, right? Or some sort of grill. Most people do it on the grill, you know. Yeah. And I knew that going in. So I'm not like blaming anybody because I knew. Right? I watched 20 videos. Hello. And I watched 2 of them like 5 times. Duh. Like I knew what I was doing.
Don't challenge me on my salt tile knowledge.
Don't challenge me. I have a YouTube degree in salt tile. you know what? We're laughing. What if that becomes a thing, right? Like you could actually, right? But so what I thought I could do. This is what I thought I could do. Now I heard, and I already knew that you couldn't put the salt tile right on the glass top.
Okay.
I already knew that part. They said you really can't do that, and so I thought you had to have like something to put on the glass top and then put your tile on top of it. So I thought that I could use my cast iron skillets, right? So
Okay.
I got my big 12-incher. I put that on the stove, and then I put my salt in the pan, and I thought that would work, and it didn't really work. I preheated it in the oven like you're supposed to, slowly, and I got it up to 400 degrees.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't have a holder for it yet, so it was this really weird thing of trying to get this basically a hot brick into the pan that I already, and I had the pan preheated on the stove.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't quite work. It just turned into, once I put the meat, it was working until I put the meat on there. I put the meat, and once the meat started dripping off of the salt block, it just made a huge smoky mess.
Okay.
So I was like, oh crap. So I still had the oven going. So it was a little bit of a learning curve for me since I have the glass top.
Mm-hmm.
So then I still had the oven at 400 degrees. So I just put it right back in the oven.
Okay.
So
so you had the salt tile in the cast iron skillet, and you put all that in the oven.
Right.
Okay. All right.
And so with that, it overcooked the steak.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But the steak still came out well enough to get a taste test of, okay, what's this going to be like? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was just a little tough. So I wasn't like, when I was sampling it, I wasn't grading, the well doneness of the steak. I wasn't grading the steak. I was grading the seasoning of the steak, and I was really amazed at how, because the steak is overcooked. It was nowhere near what I would ever cook a steak. It was awful. My jaw was hurting when I was done chewing it. Right, but it was still juicy and stuff. But you had to eat it warm. It was like, forget about it after that.
All right. Yeah.
But I was really shocked because I put absolutely no salt on this bad boy, and I had it room temperature. I literally coarse peppered it, and that was it.
Okay.
And I was amazed at how much salt that meat absorbed. It was insane. It was really, really insane.
So did you turn the steak over like halfway through to get?
I did.
Both sides on the salt. Okay.
Yeah, I did. I turned it. I went and rewatched one guy's video where he literally just used the oven method, for cooking on the salt tile. And but see, at that point, I was already kind of screwed because I had already put it on the stove. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
I thought it was going to be cool because it looked great coming out of the oven. It looked great, but I didn't know until I cut into it that, I had really overcooked it. But with that aside, the seasoning was on point, but it is a learning curve. It's just like first cooking with cast iron. Like there's a learning curve. So, depending on how fatty your food is how much salt it's going to absorb. So if you want to keep that salt down, and the only way to really know that is to start cooking with it, right? And you're like, okay, that was too much salt. Next time I'm going to put more oil. The more oil you put on your salt block while you're cooking is a barrier between your fattier food.
Okay. All right.
Now your vegetables and stuff like that aren't going to absorb as much salt because they're not as fatty, right?
Okay.
So that's a nice little tip. So if you have a fattier food, and of course meats and stuff like that, you put some oil. I would recommend less as starting, and then move on from there. But
so it sounds like, unless you have a gas cooktop, the best way to do it would be to put the salt tile in a pan and then in the oven and preheat it that way and do it all in the oven.
There's hardly any videos, at least that I saw on YouTube, that show electric stoves.
Okay.
Or glass top stoves.
Okay.
The one guy that I saw was still cooking on gas, but he was doing like a whole presentation. It would seem like an invite only sort of thing, and he's a chef and all that. He was doing a professional. He was actually selling these salt tiles. So he's trying to sell you these things. And his tip was they have those little things you can buy. They look like, I don't know, cake rings or something, and you can put them on your stove and then put that on top of it. He says it just can't have contact with the, he's saying you put that on there. So he was recommending buying a holder for your tile, and then putting that on top of this little spacer deal that you can buy. Okay. I've now since seen them on Amazon, and of course Amazon has everything. So he recommended that. Also a nice little tip that I've learned in hindsight, because I have a smaller salt block, and so some people actually recommend getting, if you're going to use your grill, they recommend getting actual brick sized or maybe slightly bigger than brick sized salt blocks. And the reason why is because then you can kind of buy lots of them and customize them on your grill.
So you could get 2 or 3 and fill up the whole grate on your grill.
Right, if you want, you know what I'm saying, or maybe you just want to put half of them. Since we all have different size grills, they recommended that instead of buying one big large one that you think might fit. Like they recommend doing that. And for some people that worked out, pretty good. So just different little things for different.
That's interesting. I think I might get one and try it on the grill. It sounds like the secret is you get it on the grill, whether it's a grill or the cooktop or the oven, is you get it up to temperature before you put the meat or veggies on it. So you got to get the salt tile at 400 degrees before you put. Okay.
And that's a slow process. Like it's turning it on, and you don't want to raise it too fast because there is some moisture in that salt.
Crack the salt,
and you'll crack the salt. You know what I'm saying? So you want to bring it up slow. They say 15 minutes at a time. So you might start it like some people, even if they put it on the grill, they'll still put it in a cold oven and set your oven like 350, and then let that preheat, and then put it up to 400.
And then put it on the grill.
And then let that heat up. Okay. And then put it on the grill.
Okay. So that might be the way to do it. Put the salt tile like on a cookie sheet in the oven.
Right.
Heat it up to temperature slowly. Right. Get your grill to 400 degrees.
Right.
Put the salt tile on the grill, and then add the meat or veggies. Okay.
Right.
That sounds good. And you got yours for like $10 or something?
Oh, dude, they're super cheap. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still seeing them on there. I'm still seeing them on Amazon for less than $20. I mean, even the big ones are $20, $25. I mean, you're talking a good size one. And the thing of it is, now Thomas is mentioning, not sure how long it would last. Now, there's really they never really go bad, if you will, because even once you use them a lot, now you're going to use them a lot. The ones that you actually put on the fire and cook with are going to start to not look as nice. So that one's going to be one that you cook with only. Now, some people buy a bunch of them and they'll use them for plates, like as for serving. So you can warm these up to like 300 degrees maybe, and then put your steak on that. And so that becomes your plate, and then you just serve it right on the salt. Or some people will buy some smaller ones, put them in the refrigerator or the freezer, and serve cold things on them. For like a party. And now those are going to stay nice all the time. But over time, they will crack, they will chip off. You just take that chipped piece of salt, grind it, and put it on your food. It's salt.
Yeah, exactly.
It's literally salt. It's the minute and then washing was easier than I thought too. I took my scraper. Hell, I used my regular spatula, and I just cleaned it off with that. It scraped right off, and it looks, even with it looked like hell at first, Mark. It looked like, I was like, oh, this thing looks bad, but it cleaned right up. I mean, it cleaned like just literally with water. I didn't use anything on it.
All right. Huh. All right. No, that makes sense. You just kind of scrape off any of the stuff that's left, and then
because
rinse it off, and then you're done.
Call it antimicrobial or something like that. They call it.
Okay.
It's you just scrape off the.
Yeah, salt kills pretty much anything that's left. So you just scrape off the any chunks or whatever the leftover, rinse it off, and you're good. Yeah.
It's a trip, man. It really is. And
I'm gonna try that. I think that would be good. Like burgers, steaks, chicken. Yeah.
I like I say, even though I overcooked the meat, I couldn't believe how well it was seasoned. It was
okay.
I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. It freaks you out because you're like, I put nothing on this steak, and it's so perfectly seasoned. It's nuts.
Yeah.
You know,
that's good.
So, in any case, we're out here, guys. Thank you for showing up, man. I appreciate everyone in the chat.
The IPA event is going well. We want a full report next week.
Full report.
Smoke and all. I hope you're taking pictures of the smoke.
Smoke and all. Yeah, I think
smoke and all.
That's our next campaign right there. Smoke and all.
Yep.
All right, man. We'll see you, Mark. Thanks for
see you, Jeff. Take care.
All right.
All right.